All right, let's talk integrals. If you're prepping for exams like JEE or NDA, you know this topic can feel like the final boss of calculus, right? Well, it doesn't have to be that way. In this explainer, we're going to give you a full battle plan, step by step, so you can go in there and not just survive, but totally conquer integrals. So, here's our game plan. We're going to build this up like a pyramid. We'll start with the foundation, grab our toolkit of formulas, then move to the power tools and techniques. After that, we hit the summit for strategy, and finally cross the finish line by dodging common traps. It's a clear path, from the ground up.
Okay, let's get started. Section 1, the foundation. Before you start climbing, you gotta make sure the ground you're standing on is solid. That's what this is all about.
So what is an indefinite integral? Well, at its core, it's just an antiderivative. You're basically playing a guessing game. You look at a function, f of x, and you ask yourself, what did I have to take the derivative of to get this? That answer is f of x. But here's the kicker. That little plus c at the end, it's not just for decoration. It is so important. It tells you there's a whole family of functions that work. You cannot, I repeat, cannot forget the plus c.
And let's get this straight right from the start. Indefinite and definite integrals are two different beasts. Think of it like this. An indefinite integral is the general recipe for a cake. It gives you a function, f of x plus c, a whole family of possibilities. But a definite integral, that's like a single slice of that cake. It gives you a number, a specific value, which is usually the area under a curve. All right, foundation is solid. Now for section 2, the toolkit. Think of these formulas as your essential gear. These are the non-negotiables. You've got to know them by heart, no excuses, because everything else we do will build on them.
Okay, let's start with the real workhorses. The power rule, you're going to use this all the time. It needs to be automatic. And hey, look at the reciprocal rule. See that natural log of the absolute value of x? Those absolute value bars are critical. So many people forget them and lose easy marks. Don't be that person. These are literally the ABCs.
Now for exponentials. The integral of e to the x is just e to the x. How nice is that? Super simple. But wait, hold on. Look at that third one. This is huge. This isn't just another formula to memorize. It's a pattern to recognize. If you see e to the x times a function plus its derivative, bam, the answer is right there for the taking.
And here's why that pattern is so important. This isn't some obscure trivia. This exact form shows up on the JEE mains almost every single year. It's a straight-up shortcut they expect you to know. Being able to spot the function and its derivative hidden inside a complicated-looking problem, that's not just helpful, it's a total game changer.
And of course, trigonometry. You gotta know your sine and cosine integrals like the back of your hand. No hesitation. But don't stop there. Make sure you've also memorized secant squared and the integral of secant itself. These four are your bread and butter.
Okay, toolkit is full. Time to level up. Section 3, the power tools. Basic formulas are great, but for the tougher problems, you're going to need these advanced techniques to really break them down.
Our first power tool is the substitution method. The whole idea here is to make ugly integrals look pretty. You spot a messy part inside the function, call it t or u, and magically, the whole thing often transforms into one of those basic formulas we just learned. The only rule, you have to substitute everything. That includes the dx part. Don't leave it behind.
Next up, integration by parts, or IBP. This is what you pull out when you're multiplying two different kinds of functions. But here's the million-dollar question. When you've got two functions, how in the world do you choose which one to call u and which one to call dv? Well, wonder no more, because the answer is ILATE. This acronym is your secret weapon. You pick your u by following this exact order: inverse trig, logarithmic, algebraic, trigonometric, exponential. It's a hierarchy. Whatever comes first on this list, that's your u. Stick to this rule and you'll nail IBP every time. And our final power tool, partial fractions. This is basically a divide and conquer strategy for messy fractions. You break one big, scary fraction into several small, easy-to-integrate ones. But, and this is a big but, there is one golden rule. Look at the degree, the highest power. If the power on top is bigger than or equal to the power on the bottom, you have to do long division first. It's not optional. If you forget this, you're going nowhere. All right, we've got our tools. Let's head for the summit. Section 4, definite integrals and strategy. This is where it all comes together. This is where the big points are in your exams, so listen closely.
So what's the magic behind definite integrals? It's the fundamental theorem of calculus, and honestly, it's beautifully simple. You just find the antiderivative, f of x, like we did before, and then you plug in the top number, plug in the bottom number, and subtract. That's it. And guess what? No more plus c. We're dealing with specific numbers now.
But solving them is one thing. Mastering them means using their properties. So here are 3 big ones you need to know. First, if you flip the limits of integration, you just flip the sign of the answer. Easy. Second, you can split an integral in 2 at any point c. Super useful. But the third one is special. They call this the King's property, and let me tell you, it's earned that name. For an exam like JE, this is pure gold. It's a shortcut that can take an integral that looks absolutely terrifying and turn it into something you can solve in seconds. Seriously, learning to use this property is like having a superpower on exam day.
And strategy is exactly what this is about. Look at this common integral type. When you see powers of sine and cosine multiplied together, you don't just randomly try things. No, you have a plan. This table is your playbook. Is the power on sine odd? Do this. Is the power on cosine odd? Do that. Are they both even? There's a plan for that too. This is the difference between fumbling around and solving with confidence.
Okay, we're almost there. Section 5, the finish line. You've done the hard work, you've got the tools and the strategies. This last part is about making sure you don't stumble right at the end. We're going to cover the most common traps that steal points from students.
Let's go through this checklist. Number 1, forgetting the plus c. We talked about it. It's the easiest mark to lose. Don't do it. Number 2, not following IL8 for integration by parts. Just stick to the rule. Number 3 is a huge one for definite integrals. You do a substitution but forget to change the limits. Instant wrong answer. 4, forgetting the absolute value inside the natural log. And 5, when finding an area, if the curve dips below the x-axis, you have to split the integral. You got to watch out for these. They're designed to catch you off guard.
So, where should you put your energy? This chart breaks it down perfectly. Look at that huge chunk, 45%. That's your core stuff, formulas, IVP, substitution, and properties. You have to be flawless there. Next up, focus on area under curves and partial fractions. This is your study guide. Focus on what gets you the most points.
So there you have it, the whole battle plan, from the ground up. We've covered the foundation, the tools, the strategy, the common mistakes. You have the roadmap. But what does it really take to achieve mastery?
The answer is simple, but it's not easy. It's about practice. Master the basics so well you could do them in your sleep. Practice every single day. The more you practice, the faster you'll spot the patterns and the quicker the solutions will come to you. Eventually, what feels like a huge mountain right now will just become second nature. You've got this. Good luck.